Welcome to this breathing class, which is safe for our pelvic floors in that sense that we are not going to add any additional pressure toward the pelvic floor. I want you to listen to your body, and if you feel strain, if you feel heaviness or anything like that, please stop the exercise, rest in child pose or in any position that you feel drawn to, and then come back whenever you are ready. So the key to healing is to listen to your body, not forcing it to do things it's not up for. Let's start in a cross-legged position, and please sit on a pillow if you need that support to really lengthen your spine. And this is key for optimal breath. Optimal breath means optimal pelvic health. It's extremely close connected. So we want to have this lengthening through the spine, an open chest without coming forward too much. So really feel that good positioning with the sitting bones as a base where you can feel them rooting down into the mat. Placing the hands wherever you feel comfortable, closing the eyes when you are ready, and let's start to breathe in and out through the nose. Okay, apparently I took an out breath through my mouth. If you need to do that too, please go ahead. And then after a couple of rounds, maybe with like a sighing or just letting go with an open mouth, you close your mouth and breathe in and out through the nose. So in today's class, we will be doing different types of breathing exercises, which will make you calm and alert at the same time. And the whole breathing mechanism that we are made up of is mirroring the pelvic floor and the function in the pelvic floor. So this breathing class is actually more kind of designed for pelvic health, but we are working toward that through our rib cage and our diaphragm rather than the muscles and the structures in our pelvis. So let's start with really connecting to these ribs, the lower ribs in front on the side and the back side of the rib cage. And it's kind of easy. You just breathe in to the bottom of your lungs, filling up all the way to your collarbones. And when I say it's easy, it may not be, because there's tightness, stiffness, pain, or just not knowing how to do that because we've never practiced breathing in that sense before. But the more you practice, it will start to come because it's the natural way to function for the rib cage. So we just need to awaken that movement pattern in the rib cage. So just continue, fake it till you make it. You visualize how your breath comes all the way deep down into the lungs. You can visualize your whole rib cage as a balloon. So when you fill it up with air, it expands in all directions. Exhaling, coming back and like becoming small into the center again. And now let's take our hands. This can be a really nice help, and try to cover as much as you can of the rib cage. So maybe your thumbs are toward the back and your fingers pointing front, or the opposite way if that feels better. And start to breathe into the hands. And we tend to more easily fill up the chest on the front side. So I recommend you to kind of take your hands more toward the back side of the rib cage, becoming aware of your back. And the lungs, they reach down all the way here onto the back ribs. And I think the majority of the alveoles are placed here. The alveoles are the ones that takes the oxygen from the lungs and transport it out to the blood, and the bloodstream takes it into the rest of the body. So if we can't reach with the oxygen all the way down here on the backside of the lungs, we're going to miss out on a lot, and our body is going to work much harder for less. So you keep on breathing, maybe exhaling through the mouth whenever you feel an impulse to do that, and becoming aware of the movement in the ribs. And even if it's just like 0.5 millimeter of movement, start to observe that, the sensation, and maybe take some more pressure from your hands onto the ribs to really, really experience that, the movement from the rib cage, which is also directly connected to your diaphragm, which is mirroring your pelvic floor. Good. 3 more breaths, with or without your hands and arms. And now let's do something called box breathing. Change the position of your legs so that we create more symmetry in the body. And now closing down the eyes again, letting your palms face down toward your legs. Rest them on your legs or knees. I will count to 4 times. It's a breath cycle. So as I count to 4, the first time you inhale, then you're going to hold your inhalation for 4. Exhale for 4, hold the exhalation for 4. It's as simple as that. So let's take a breath out, empty the lungs. When you're ready, in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold through 2, 3, 4. Out 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. So in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Stick to this rhythm or elongate it with me. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more rounds on your own, and maybe you want to make it shorter again or even longer. So you count yourself and you notice how you feel to do that breath hold, and if there's any difference from holding your in breath or your out breath, just become aware. Relaxing the jaw and the face, creating a tall spine. So take your time to finish up the 2 rounds. Continuing to breathe into the rib cage fully. Starting to engage the pelvic floor through the breath. And then slowly, when you're ready, you open your eyes. And we are going to go into all fours. And there will be a couple of options here. We will be doing the breath of fire. And if you have been practicing this at all before, you know that it may definitely increase the pressure down toward the pelvic floor. And we're not going to do that. So the options, and I will tell you, if you have never done this breathing before, I will tell you exactly how it's done. But the options for our position is all fours like this. And if sometimes it feels even better to lower down onto the lower arms, because as you can see now, my pelvis is higher, like the highest point on the body. So I think I would go for this. And then you have another option to even elevate your hips and pelvis even higher. So you can stretch out like this. Or you can simply take downward dog like this. All options are great. And of course, the ones with straight legs will be more intense and more strength demanding. You're welcome to start with straight legs if you don't feel for sure that you want to keep your legs bent in this position or this. If you want to try to keep them straight, you can anytime that you want to, you can just lower the legs when it becomes too much for maybe the upper body to hold you. And everyone can come to all fours so that we start in this position to find the breath, because it is quite an advanced technique. But if we do it slowly in the beginning, we'll be completely safe to do it. So this is it's almost like a dog that is warm. So a dog looks like that with its tongue sticking out. We want to keep our mouth closed. And if you do that exact same breath with the mouth closed, it will be... And that's it. That's what we want to do. Then you can, of course, increase the tempo, and that will become more advanced. You can also take really pushing breaths, but that's not the aim for today. So if you're really used to this technique, go ahead and kind of experiment as long as you keep your pelvis high. Otherwise, you can kind of start with this breath. You just close your mouth after some time and go in that tempo. Okay, so let's do it. I'll do it in downward dog as a start. So in downward dog, just make sure that you are lengthening your spine. You're not straightening the legs and doing this with your spine. So make sure it's lengthened. And now take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale halfway and then start. Good job. So continue and just notice your shoulders, your neck. You want to be relaxed and keep your head in line with the spine. And just continue to do this in a stable way rather than doing it super fast and losing control. So keep that pumping motion in your belly and continue for as long as you can, or I mean, we're gonna get out of the position very soon, but just continue in this way, in this tempo, as long as you're able for. If you really need to rest, come down into child's pose or any other position. Otherwise, we're just gonna do about 25 more. And a lot of blood is coming to my head. So, you know, if you've chosen a dolphin or downward dog, you may be in need of a break. Good. So last rounds. And then slowly you inhale. Exhale in any way that feels good, lowering your knees if you lifted them, and come back into a child's pose. Maybe you want to spread your legs or keep them nice and tight, whichever feels better. Lowering your forehead and your whole body just kind of melting down. Good. Noticing the effect of this breathing exercise. Relax your jaw and the root of the tongue. So this exercise was probably the most active one that we will be doing today, also with kind of the upside down part. A lot of blood and energy upwards. We're gonna take that down before we end in Shavasana through an exercise called Nadi Shodhana. So please come to a seated position again. You can choose cross-legged or any kind of yogic position, or if you're up for it, you can sit on your heels. And then maybe you can feel your heels as a support for your sitting bones. Or, you know, maybe everything is just kind of soft and nice around there and you won't feel that. That's fine. But if you can try to place the heels in line with the sitting bones. Okay. Nadi Shodhana is about breathing in right and left nostrils separately. So we will do a counting today. We will use the left hand for this counting. So one breath is one knuckle on the finger. So we start with placing the index finger and the thumb on number 1. And when you've done one cycle, sorry, it's not a breath cycle, it's a cycle, it's a round, and one round is 2 breaths in Nadi Shodhana, and I will explain to you how to breathe very soon. So when you've done one round, you move the thumb down one knuckle, and then down again, the next one. So that's how we count how many rounds we will be doing. So you can just place that hand wherever it feels comfortable. The other hand will use to close the nostrils, the nostril that we are not breathing into. So you can lower the index finger and the longest finger down toward the place like on the where the thumb is connected to the palm of the hand. And we'll take the thumb finger on the right nostril and the ring finger on the left nostril. So we'll start with breathing out. And then as you inhale, you start with the thumb on the right nostril. So you inhale fully. And then you close with the ring finger, opening up the right nostril, emptying. Inhaling. When it kind of stops, you close the right nostril, you open the left, and you exhale. So that's one round. Now we've done number 1. Good. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. So inhale here through the left. Closing the left, opening up the right, and exhale. Inhaling through the right. Closing the right, opening up the left, and exhale slowly. Relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. And now you move the thumb on the left hand to the second knuckle. Good. Now we've done 2 rounds. And inhale again. Closing the left, opening up the right, exhaling. Inhale. Closing the right, opening the left, and exhale. And see if you can elongate the breath, the cycle of the breath for each cycle that you take. Moving the thumb on the left hand, and let's go to the next round. So you start by inhaling through the left. Closing the left, opening up the right, and exhale. Inhale. Closing, opening, exhale. Good, and you move that thumb, and now you take 3 more rounds in your own pace and also in your own way. It doesn't matter, if you end up messing things up and you do it in a different way than I just taught, but keep on alternating with the right and the left nostril, breathing calmly and in and out through the nose the whole time. See if you can just relax your forehead, your skull, your ears, your eyes. Good. Focusing on that rib cage breath. So there's less movement in the belly, there's more movement in the rib cage. And you take your time to finish up those 3 rounds. There's no stress. Once you are done, please come down to Shavasana. Just resting the whole body. And just checking in here so that your legs are really relaxed with your toes falling apart. Palms of the hands are toward the ceiling. Just taking the shoulder blades slightly toward each other, not maximum, just slightly. And notice your spine. How there's no pressure into the spine from laying in this position right now. And from now on, you just take normal breaths. Whatever that is for you, you're not focusing on the breathing at all. And please stay here for as long as you need and have time for. I will leave you here, but I am so grateful that you joined me today. Thank you very much.